Do your nights feel thin and restless? Mine did, like a page the dark kept turning before I was ready. The house made small sounds, the tick of the baseboard, the fridge's faraway river, and the clock face glowed a pale coin on the dresser. I lay awake and felt the sheet's cool whisper on my shins. My breath perched like a bird that wouldn't quite land. Sleep is a soft shelter I used to enter by accident. Now I build it with my hands. I begin before the stars argue with the streetlights. At 6, I dim the lamps to honey. I let the kitchen quiet itself. The kettle murmurs, low and friendly, and steam braids the window. On the counter, I set out my night kit, a stub of beeswax, a small notebook, lotion that smells faintly of oat, a book with short chapters, and a timer with a gentle bell. I'm not trying to conquer sleep. I'm trying to meet it without scolding. People who study aging say many of us notice lighter sleep and earlier waking. Bodies change rhythms. Nights can grow bony. There's mercy in planning for that. I think of shelter the way carpenters do: light, temperature, and sound. Light goes soft early. Temperature falls a degree so blankets can do their work. Sound is a low tide, no news, only a station that plays cellos quiet as tea. I write the day down so my head does not have to carry it across the threshold. 3 lines. What I've done, what can wait, what I hand to morning. When the pen scratches, my mind stops fretting a little. I rub lotion into my wrists and feel my own heat come back through the skin. The cat climbs onto my lap, heavy as a loaf cooling. Drowsiness is shy. I let it approach without staring. When I finally turn back the sheet, the room feels kinder. The pillow smells like clean cotton. I thank my body for getting me to the doorway. Then I begin the walk from day into dark, slow as a hymn I almost remember. The doorway is small on purpose. I step through it with a ritual I can repeat when I'm tired. I call it the 999. 9 minutes of warm things, 9 minutes of slow things, 9 minutes of quiet things. Warm as a shower, the temperature of tea, or a towel heated over the radiator and laid across my shoulders. Slow as a page or two of a book, with short breaths between sentences. Quiet is the beeswax light and the timer's bell when I'm ready to turn it off. I keep a chair beside the bed, a night harbor. If I wake and the mind starts sorting decades, I do not wrestle the ocean. I go to the chair. I wrap the blanket around my legs and rest my feet on the little rug that feels like moss. I breathe 4 in, 6 out, 12 times, counting on my fingers like a child who trusts numbers more than thoughts. When drowsiness returns, I let it lead me back to the pillow. If it doesn't, the chair and I keep company without blame. Information gently. Many clinicians suggest a steady wake time and morning light. I do what I can. Blinds open at breakfast so sun can find my eyes. A short walk to tell the brain it is daytime. Caffeine finishes by the early afternoon. I do not make rules I will resent. I make invitations I can keep. I lower the room's sparks. Screens go to sleep in the drawer by 8. The phone learns do not disturb like a household prayer. I leave a paper list for tomorrow on the counter where the morning will find it waiting. Doubt still visits. It brings a satchel of old worries and sets them by the door. I nod to them as if they were weather. Then, I put my palm on the cool glass of the window and let the night's air teach my skin the temperature of rest. I return to bed while the house is a friend. The sheet lifts and settles. The pillow remembers my cheek. Somewhere outside, a late bus sighs at the corner, a sound like a long exhale, and I borrow that rhythm for my own. Some nights carry thunder in the mind even when the sky is clear. On those, I practice the art of gentle interruption. I name 5 true things the dark cannot argue with: the fan's low whir, the lavender tucked in the pillowcase, the heaviness of the quilt, the thin draft at the sash, the slow pulse in my wrist. I place one hand on my belly and one on my heart. I breathe until the hands rise and fall, like boats that know the tide. I keep a worry saucer on the nightstand, a small ceramic dish where I can place thoughts I'm not strong enough to solve after midnight. One sentence per slip of paper. Call the clinic. Order filters. Write to Margaret. The saucer is not magic. It is a promise to the part of me that thinks alarms are love. I cover the slips with a smooth stone from the beach, so they cannot escape and haunt the room. Information softly offered. Sleep can be steadier when the body feels safe. So I make safety something I can touch at 2 a.m., a flashlight where I can reach it, water within an arm's length, slippers lined up like small boats. I remind my nervous system that we are not trapped. We are home. When dreams come sharp with old scenes, I practice a rewrite as if I were a director with a kinder script. I step out of the dream, place both feet on the rug, and whisper a new ending. The hallway is lit. The door opens. I am met by someone whose hand is warm. I climb back into bed and let that version play while my breath learns the slower drum. By the time the window begins to gray at the edges, the room has lost its teeth. The quilt is only a quilt. The night is only night. I roll to my side and feel sleep arrive like rain across a roof. Soft, steady, believable. Morning is part of the night's repair, so I protect it from hurry. I wake when the room lightens and sit up slowly, as if surfacing from a lake. The sheet slides cool across my shins. I swing my feet over the edge and thank my knees, out loud for their faithful hinges. The first sips of water taste like permission. The window opens to air that smells faintly of wet stone and leaves. I keep a small card on the dresser titled Gentle Mornings. 3 lines. Light, move, nourish. Light means the blinds lifted. 10 unblinking seconds toward the skies so my inner clock knows what day it is. Move means the cat and cow stretch on the rug, or a walk to the corner where the bakery exhales warm bread into the street. Nourish is a bowl that holds me. Oats with cinnamon, toast with an egg whose edges lace and crisp, or soup saved from last night. An information paragraph that fits in the palm. As bodies change, naps can be helpful if they are short and early. I treat them like a tea ceremony. Timer set, chair chosen, blanket ready. I do not scold myself for needing rest. I practice it the way musicians practice scales, so the music later is easier to play. I plan my days with a nod to what I learned in the dark. Afternoons are for tasks that bow to a brain that slept. Evenings are for winding down, not catching up. I trade perfection for rhythm. Laundry on Thursdays, floors on Saturdays, letters on Sundays. Structure is a kindness when energy is a shy animal that startles easily. At dusk, I return to the doorway on purpose. Lamps to honey, stove to warm, news to off. The same soft steps, not as superstition, but as scaffolding for a tired body. There is comfort in repetition. It tells the nervous system where we are in the song. There are nights when grief or worry still keeps the latch lifted. On those, I do not grade myself. I choose shelter over scorekeeping. I move to the sofa and make a nest. Quilt, warm rice bag, book with short chapters, light at the lowest setting. I let the cat settle into the crook of my knees. I listen to the refrigerator's old hymn and match it with my breath until the room and I are on one slow metronome. I write a letter to the body that kept watch. Thank you for patrolling the hours. We are safe. You can rest now. I tuck the note under the saucer. I make a cup of milk with cardamom and honey and feel the mug's heat teach my hands the old language of calm. When I return to bed, I say a benediction I invented on a hard winter. May the night hold what I cannot. May the morning return what I need. Information, quietly. If sleep trouble persists and steals the day's edges, talking with a clinician can help. Support is a kind tool, not a failing. I keep the number of my doctor on the paper by the phone, so asking is one step, not 10. The dark thins. Birds stitch the first seams of light. I lie on my side and practice the simplest faith I know. Inhale, exhale, again. Sleep arrives in small boats. I climb into one without asking for guarantees. The oars dip. The shore drifts closer. When morning finally opens like a curtain, I am not new. I am more myself, held by a night that I shaped with my own hands. If your nights are troubled, come sit by my lamp a while. We will dim the room to honey. We will write down tomorrow so it does not shout. We will lay a warm towel over our shoulders and breathe like tide. Sleep is a shelter we can build slowly. It is a door we can close with kindness and open again with light.